Greetings, Cyberdogs and citizens of the interbubs. This is ReNDoG coming at you from the wall of the Molehole in this Let's Play Minecraft Survival series. Hey, how's everybody out there doing today? I wanted to kick off today's episode with a little bit of a weird question for you all. Have you ever received a package in the mail that you weren't very happy with receiving that wasn't some sort of junk mail or spam? Well, this morning, the postman knocked on my door bright and early and handed me a very mangled box. A box that looked like it had been in a frickin' washing machine or something, man. It was an absolute mess. It had clearly been through many airplanes and many airports, and I suddenly realized that this box was not meant for me. It was meant for somebody else. You see, at the beginning of December last year, I bought a couple of presents for my nephew and niece that live in Canada, and I put them in these big boxes and sent them over, hoping that they would arrive in Canada in time for Christmas Day. And unfortunately, those presents never actually arrived in Canada. And, well, this morning, one of them has arrived back here in England and has been delivered back to me. And I'm not entirely sure where the other one is, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried about that, but I was very confused by this. So I gave my brother a call on Skype and I asked him, hey, man, what has happened? Why has the present arrived back? At least we know that the present exists and that it wasn't lost in the mail, but it looks like it never got back to you. And I took a picture of the address that I had sent the present to. And, well, my brother and I had forgotten to put the apartment number on the present delivery address. And so the postman in Canada was obviously very confused, had no idea where to deliver the presents, and somehow the presents are landing up back here with the ReNDoG instead of in the hands of my nephew and niece. And man, I feel a little bit sad about it because obviously I wanted the presents to arrive in Canada for Christmas Day, but they never actually got there, and now I'm receiving the presents back again. Oh man, what a weird start to my day. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a much better start to your day. I'm probably just going to send those presents back to my nephew and niece as a very late Christmas present, I suppose. But yeah, it's not quite the same thing as opening up your presents on Christmas Day, is it? Anyway, maybe it'll be a nice surprise for them when suddenly a present arrives in their post box from Uncle ReNDoG in England. Anyway, welcome back to Minecraft Survival, guys. I've been doing some workouts here, as you can see. Just been continuing the design of the wall that we started in the previous episode. Been clearing away a little bit of the trees over here so that we can get a nice view of where the wall is supposed to be going. Today, though, we're not going to be working on the wall. Today, we're going to be doing something a lot more interesting. The sun is actually going down too, so I've got to keep an eye on that. Last episode, I asked you guys out there to help me out figuring out what we need to do in this Minecraft series. What are our current major quests for the series? And I want to say a massive thank you to all of you guys out there who have been helping me out with this. There's loads of you guys out there in the comments of the previous episode that made some big lists of all of the outstanding projects that we've got going on in the series. And it made me realize something, guys. We have got an amazing world cooking up here in Minecraft Survival, but at the same time, we have got a lot of work to do. So, I have gone through all of the different lists that you guys have sent me, and I've put together a final list of major projects that we are going to need to do in this first season of Minecraft Survival. A whole bunch of tasks that I'd like to achieve before episode 100, which is going to be the end of season 1 of this series. And today, we're going to start doing a little bit of clearing of the trees on top of the molehole that we spoke about last episode. And I also want to start working on the entrance to the molehole, which is something that a lot of you guys mentioned. If we've got enough time today, maybe we'll start doing a little bit of work out here. So we've got a lot of stuff to do, and I've got this list written down here of all the projects that we currently have open in the series, and there are a lot of things that we are going to need to do in the series. It's actually kind of scary. My inventory is completely filled up with absolute rubbish right now, though. let me just clear out a little bit of space over here because we need a little bit of space to start clearing out that forest at the top of the Molehole. But yeah, we've got lots of things going in the world right now. Of course, this is the Moleshire, this is the Molehole, this is the storage hole, this is our current main base in the series, and of course we have another sort of, or two more secondary bases, I suppose. We've got the Holiday Inn village, where Gam and Grodo are currently imprisoned, and we also have the Skelebut farm, which is eventually going to become a town in itself. So between those three major places in our world, we've actually got quite a lot of things to do. There are many projects open all over our world. Now, one of the things that I want to get cracking on today, which I think is going to be one of the easiest tasks, is getting rid of all of the trees here on top of the Molehole. Luckily, we can take this opportunity to collect ourselves a little bit of resources over here too. We've been using a lot of leaves in the series, mostly for decoration, and we'll probably be using quite a few more to build some custom trees and stuff in our world. So I want to start collecting the leaves, okay? So I think what we should do is just start doing something like this, right? Just shearing all of the leaves from all of the trees around here, and we can leave all the trunks up for now, and then we can cut down the trunks a little bit later. But for now, let's just try to get rid of as many of these leaves as possible. And that's going to sort of start to fill up our inventory quite nicely with all of this leaf action that we require. Now, let's start going through this list of things that we need to do in this Minecraft survival series. And what I'd like to do also is set up a little place somewhere that we can start jotting down these quests. Perhaps some sort of a quest board, or I don't know, even like a small little temple or something that's dedicated to all of the quests that we have to achieve here in the series. And that way we can keep a track of what we need to do here in Minecraft Survival. Believe it or not, guys, when I wake up in the morning and start recording Minecraft Survival, I'm usually not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing. I usually log on and spend an hour or so in the world and get a little bit of inspiration for what I want to do for the particular day. But I reckon if we start setting up an actual place where we are recording what we need to do, it's going to be a lot easier for me anyway, as the producer of the series, to figure out exactly what I need to be doing in this particular world. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through all of the projects that we currently have open, all of the projects that I've put together based on the list that you guys have sent me in the previous episode. And it's a pretty long list, so I hope you guys have a tasty beverage. Hope you're ready to take some notes, those of you guys who are helping me out with this particular project. And let's see if we can actually come together with a proper consolidated list of all the tasks that we need to do. Well, I guess on the top of the list, something that I just mentioned, we need to set up some sort of a quest board somewhere, right? We're going to set up some sort of a quest temple, or maybe even just a monument or something that is going to be holding all of the quests in this list so that we can keep a track of it. And as we complete those quests, we can mark them off the list, and we can add new ones to the list, of course, as the series progresses and as new parts of our world get opened up and so on. So that's going to be number 1 on the list. Number 2 on the list is completing the layout and design of the Molehole Castle. We've got a base inside of this mountain right now, which is basically just a giant hole in the side of a mountain. There is really not much more to it than that. It's got 4 sugarcane farms in it and some furnaces, and it's not exactly the most amazing Minecraft base on the face of the earth, and that is certainly a project that we need to get cracking on, so that we can start at least feeling proud of where we live. Right now, we don't even really have a place to lay our heads, so to speak. We don't have a bedroom. We don't have a place that we can say, this is where we live in the series. We kind of just live like a vagabond in the Moleshire. Wherever there's a bed, we sleep, and we kind of live in that moist, dank cave known as the Molehole right now. So that's definitely one of our primary tasks, is to complete the design of the Molehole Castle. Next up, of course, on the list is going to be the Moleshire walls. This is a project that we've opened up very recently, and I don't think this project's going to take us very long to do. It's going to be a lot of work for me off camera, probably, and maybe I'll do a little bit of that on stream. And of course, guys, remember, if you don't want to miss all of the action that I do on stream, check me out on twitch.tv/ReNDoG TV. I do a little bit of grind work for this series in stream. We never do any progression on Minecraft Survival streams, but we do a little bit of grind work, like resource collecting and building railway lines and all of that sort of jazz. So the walls of the Moleshire are going to fall into that category, and hopefully we can get that project done actually pretty quickly. I think if we focus on that over the next couple of weeks, we can get that one knocked out quite quickly. Now, I mentioned another one, which is going to be our next on the list here for our current quest, and that is, of course, the entrance into the Molehole. Currently looking super janktastic. It's just a stone brick wall, looks absolutely horrible, doesn't fit into the environment very well, doesn't match the style of the Moleshire whatsoever, and we need to get working on that one. And I think, as that's probably going to be the easiest of all of the quests that I'm going to talk about today, maybe we focus on doing that one first before anything else. So, Molehole front door. I'm just checking my list over here. That's next on the list. Next on the list, of course, is going to be a house for Grodo and a house for Gam. Grodo and Gam are the two villages that we've managed to capture so far in the series. We are currently trying to find some mending books in the series, or at least find a villager that trades mending books, and we tried to get that from Grodo and from Gam. Unfortunately, neither of them had mending books for trade, but they both do have some pretty good trades. So I would like to move Grodo and Gam into the Moleshire. And let's be honest, man, they've been chilling in that Holiday Inn. And when I say chilling, I mean imprisoned in the Holiday Inn now for the entirety of this series. I mean, they are best friends, but I mean, they literally have been doing nothing but hanging out with each other. I don't even know what they've been eating. They haven't been showering. I mean, it must be stinking something fierce up in that Holiday Inn right now, man. Jeez. I'm sure both Grodo and Gam would be very pleased to be moved into their own house here in the Moleshire. So I'm thinking that we set up a nice little house for them, a gobbet house for each of them here in the Moleshire. And that could be a pretty fun project for us to get cracking on with pretty soon. On top of that, I would also like to start finding a few more villages and bringing them over to the Moleshire, and basically try to find ourselves a villager that has a mending book. I think that's a pretty important quest, especially for the longevity of the series. Of course, we want to be able to get mending books on all of our tools and on all of our armor, so that we can actually be safe here in Minecraft Survival and not lose our tools and die like a noob and have to remake our stuff. So finding some easy to obtain mending books is probably high on the list for the series, and the only way we're going to be able to do that, of course, is by getting some more villagers and trading with them and hoping that one of them will eventually be able to trade a mending book with us. Now, speaking of tools and armor, another very important thing that we need to do in the series is complete a set of diamond armor for ourselves, right? At the moment, we're running around with no armor whatsoever, running around in our birthday suit, and we are very vulnerable to the attacks from the undead hordes around us that spawn every single time that sun goes down. And I would very much like to get ourselves a full set of enchanted diamond armor, the armor of the dog. And that is something that I'm very excited about doing, and that way we can feel very, very safe in our world and know that we're not going to die. Getting a full set of diamond armor, of course, is going to unlock a couple of other very cool quests for us. One of those quests being traveling to that woodland mansion that we discovered in that map that we traded from Gam, right? And that woodland mansion, of course, is going to be quite difficult for us to get through. There's a lot of very dangerous mobs inside of a woodland mansion, and we need the armor to protect ourselves. So the diamond armor quest is pretty important, and then I guess following on from that, we shall add the go and find the woodland mansion quest, which I think is very, very exciting. I've never been to a woodland mansion myself in Minecraft, so as a Minecraft player, I'm super excited to complete that quest also. So those are some pretty sweet quests. Now, next up on the list, I would like to do something about all of these cows over here at the cow farm. At the moment, we've got them in a little enclosure, which is kind of cool. It looks pretty sweet. We've got a nice, beautiful custom tree in the middle of it, and Moodum and Meave are chilling in here, making babies and keeping our steak supplies full. But let's be honest, this isn't exactly the most beautiful way to keep cows. So I'm thinking, why don't we set up for ourselves an animal barn, right? Let's set up a barn somewhere in the Moleshire where we can actually keep our cows nice and safe, and we can make the barn look really, really sweet. And try also find a way to, I don't know, maybe make it even more, or make it more efficient in the breeding of cows. Maybe we can find some way to make breeding cows a little bit easier here for us in survival. So I think that's a great quest to add to the list, a barn for the cows. Now, recently in my Hermitcraft series, I've just completed the construction of a giant cactus farm, and we have some cactuses here in the Moleshire that we collected from the desert. But currently, we're just sort of growing them on top of the storage hole in a very haphazard way. It's not exactly the most amazing way to farm cactuses, and I'd like to set up a bit of a cactus farm for us out here. We don't really need cactuses that badly at the moment, but eventually we will need cactuses because they produce green dye that we might need for a whole bunch of stuff. So at some point, we need to set up a nice cactus farm for ourselves, and that way we can start clearing the top of the storage hole over here for another very important quest in the series, and that, of course, is the construction of the Molehole station. We've got a station all the way out at the Holiday Inn, but we don't have a railway station here back at home, and I would very much like to get a railway station set up right here on top of the storage hole, which I think is going to be really sweet. This station is going to have railway links to all of the different parts of our world. It's going to be the main station hub, shall we say, for our world, and we will have trains that will go all over the place from that main station, and that's going to be one of the biggest builds, I think, for this season anyway, here at the Molehole. I think that's going to be really, really sweet. Now, another thing that we need to start working on, of course, is, let's have a look at my list over here. Oh yes, the storage hole and Molehole connection. That is something that we do need to work on. Let's go down there and have a quick look at this, just to remind ourselves of what is actually happening. It was quite a few episodes ago, actually, I think, that I started working on connecting the storage hole to the Molehole via this very janky tunnel. At the moment, it is literally just this. Goes around the corner, and then we go up here into the Molehole, and that is just, wow, it's completely wrecked now because, yeah, we sort of completely plugged this up with a wheat farm here. So the connection is actually now broken, and this is something that we need to get sorted ASAP. At the moment, both the Molehole and the storage hole are exposed to the outside. The undead can get in here, and of course, we got Hell the pig living in the storage hole, and he's currently vulnerable. He's a nerd. Hello there, Jock. What's happening, my dude? He doesn't know how to fight the undead, right? We need to make sure that Hell is completely protected inside of the storage hole. So let's add that to the list. Now, that's everything I think we need to do in the Moleshire itself at the moment. I think those are the main quests that I'd like to achieve. Let's move a little bit out of the Moleshire now. Of course, all the way back at spawn of our world is the Skelebutt farm that we created. It's a little bit of an XP farm where we get bones and XP and arrows from, but I would like to turn that entire area into another town, and I want to call that town Skeletown. See what I did there? Skeletown, skeletons, Skeletown. Yeah. Not the greatest joke on earth, I know, guys, but you're picking up what I'm putting down, right? I want to go out there and build another beautiful town for us out there. I think that's going to be a really cool side project, actually. And you know what? Let's build for ourselves a chest out here, man. We have been collecting a bunch of these leaves, and we're starting to lose them now. So let's build a chest here, and we can start storing them a little bit. So yeah, the construction of Skeletown is going on the list, and I think that's going to be really, really cool. And Ren, can you learn how to craft, please? Here we go. Let's make a double chest for stuff out here. There's a sheep up here too, just chilling. Hey sheep, what's up, my dude? You having a good time just listening to ReNDoG ramble on about his current goals in Minecraft? Here we go. All right, so Skeletown's on the list. Speaking of towns outside of the Moleshire, the Holiday Inn town needs a lot of love. We've made a station. We've made a beautiful little, well, bed and breakfast for villagers to sleep in when we go and catch them from all over the world. We need to, of course, improve that area and make a little town out there. Probably work a little bit on that station too, and get that place looking real fancy. Kind of excited about that build because I really like the building that we made out there. I think it's really pretty, and I'd like to make a few more buildings in that style, actually. I think that's going to come together really nice. Speaking of stations and stuff, of course, we've been working on a railway line, the Mole Rail Incorporated Railway Network. And that is definitely something that we need to start getting cracking on. We need to start getting all of the railway lines completed. We need to get enough iron so that we can actually complete the rails themselves. We also need to complete the design of the railway lines so that they're not just lines of gravel. We want to make sure that all of those lines look absolutely beautiful. Wherever we travel by rail in our world, we want it to look really sweet, right? So that's quite a lot of work for us to do out there. And speaking of that, of course, we also have a bridge that crosses over a big canyon over there when we travel from the Moleshire to the Holiday Inn. We need to start working on that bridge too. And you know what? That bridge might actually be a pretty fun project for us to do quite soon. That's not going to be a very difficult project for us, not a really big one. So maybe we can do that one in the next few episodes or so. That could be pretty fun, right? So the mole rail incorporated railway lines need to be done. The mole rail incorporated bridges need to be done. And I think as far as the immediate tasks for us to do, that's probably completes the list quite nicely. There's a couple of other things, though, that I'd like to get done quite quickly to help us out in Minecraft Survival. The first thing that I'd like to do is start working on a better XP farm. I really like the Skelebutt farm. I think it's great, but unfortunately, the Skelebutt farm is only one skeleton spawner. So we're kind of taking a very, very long time to get experience out of the skeleton farm. And I reckon we could probably make a much better experience farm than the skeleton farm. And many episodes ago, I've been reading some comments from you guys saying, Ren, you discovered potentially 4 cave spider spawners next to each other, and not very excited about making a cave spider spawner XP farm, but it will be the best XP farm that we can generate in the overworld of Minecraft, certainly, and maybe that's something that we need to focus on as a technical project. Maybe our biggest technical project, in fact, could be a quadruple cave spider spawner farm, so that we can start generating some really good XP. And that XP is going to go a long way to enchanting all of our diamond armor that we want to make, making sure that when we get mending on all of our tools, we can use that XP to repair all of our items, right? That's going to be super important for later on in the series. So that's kind of an important task, actually, now that I think about it. A better XP farm. What else do we have on the list? You know what? I'm looking at this list. That is pretty much everything that I've got written down right now on the list, and I think that that is a fantastic place for us to start here in this Minecraft Survival series. I say start, we're on what, episode 36 or something? So we've made a pretty decent start in the series already, but now it's really time to start focusing in on things that we want to do here in the series. I think that's a great list. Now, I've also made a secondary list of quests that I would like to complete, not necessarily in Season 1, but over the course of the series. I think these few tasks will be very, very fun to achieve. And these, of course, were also taken from some of your guys' lists. Number 1, I'd like to find every animal in Minecraft. Currently, we've got some animals, but obviously we're missing very, very many of them. And there's some very rare animals in Minecraft too, like polar bears and llamas and stuff like that, that I would very much like to discover and bring back to the Mole Shire. So let's stick that as a secondary quest. Another secondary quest, of course, is going to be to find every tree type in Minecraft. At the moment, we've got most of the trees. I think we're just missing jungle trees at the moment. So we need to go and find ourselves a jungle so that we can get the final tree in Minecraft, which actually is maybe the next adventure that we can go on, right? Go and find a jungle. That could be pretty fun. I'd also like to find every flower in Minecraft. That's also kind of tricky. There's quite a few flowers, believe it or not, and we found some of them, but there's still loads of them that we still need to find. So that's kind of a cool secondary task. And of course, let's not forget, we should have a primary second task of finding a stronghold so that we can get ourselves to the end eventually at some point in this series, so that we can kill the dragon and that we can get Elytra and start being able to fly around in Minecraft. Well, the top of the Molehole has had a bit of a haircut, Cyberdogs, and it has been completely stripped bare of all of its leafage. Looking very crazy right now, looking very desolate and kind of sad at the moment. But yeah, that's all of the leaves removed from the top of the Molehole. I've collected them here in this chest, and that is a nice amount of oak and birch leaves that I can get into the storage hole for future use. And what I'm going to do off camera now is take down all of these trees, and then we can start figuring out exactly what we're going to be doing with all of this land. It's kind of interesting now that all of the leaves are gone, because we get a very clear view of what the top of the Molehole looks like. And it looks like there's a nice big valley over here, which is kind of cool. We've got like a sort of mountain over here, then a deep drop down, and then another section over here. And I reckon we could probably make use of this really cool land formation to do some really cool stuff here in the Mole Shire and on top of the Molehole. So it's going to be pretty sweet, man. Lots of cool places to build here. Getting a little bit of inspirational juices flowing. But unfortunately, guys, I just checked the time on the previous segment, and man, I've been recording for way too long. I didn't think it was going to take me that long to talk about the quests, but hey, we had a lot to talk about, didn't we? Anyway, I'm super excited about it, and I want you guys to help me out now, okay? We're going to do this together. I'm going to stick a poll in the top right-hand corner of this video. I'm going to choose 4 of those tasks that we've got on the list, and I want you guys to vote on which one you'd like us to get cracking with next, and in the next episode we will start working on that project together, okay? And together, you and I, we will begin to figure out exactly where we're going with this series and what we need to focus on project-wise. Instead of having a whole bunch of projects open all over the show, let's get a little bit more focused. So help me out, guys. Check out that poll in the top right-hand corner. Vote for the project that you would like to see worked on, and then next episode, we will get cracking. Sheep, you can also vote, my dude. I don't know if you have the brain capacity to vote, but yeah, top right-hand corner of the video, my dude. Anyway, that's going to do it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. ReNDoG, signing out.